Like, that's the game. It's the extra effort. It's the internals, the self-education. And once you have that, I mean, we were talking about it recently, like, nobody can take that from you.
Nope.
Nobody can take the education.
Nope.
So if you're out there right now and maybe you have like a good market, it's just a good market, you're just in a right place, right time, you got a big deal, a big fish, right? You just feel really good and high and on top of the world. You haven't figured anything out yet. It's luck, right? And to be able to get that repeatedly, what do you have to do? You have to invest in yourself. You have to constantly be growing, developing the skill set, because it isn't about just getting the quick hits. It's not about the layups. I'm not out there trying to figure out how to make it easier. No, I'm trying to figure out how to do this repeatedly, so day after day, no matter what, I know that my skill set is so sound and so firm that I have the ability to close deals that are going to result in X amount of dollars. That I have the ability to serve people at such a high level, impact enough people that my income grows month after month. What can I do to develop that?
These are the tools and strategies that Celina's used in automotive, got better to take over a dealership, and then she comes to work for us. How Tyler left college playing hockey, dropped everything from like Draculaville. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That's from Dracula, dude. I'm serious. That's where Dracula's from, right?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Pennsylvania.
Transylvania.
Transylvania. The original Dracula story comes from Pennsylvania, Transylvania. Anyway, so I wanted to hear from you because I get, you know, I've got you for 110 Wednesdays in a row now, and I want you to hear from two people that not only exceed in life, business-wise, personal lives, dialing it in, fitness. How do you have it all? It's a high-level pressure. So without further ado, I'll give it to Tyler and Celina to introduce themselves, and then they're going to go ahead and take over, and then I'm going to ask them questions as we go. So I'm going to scoot out of this frame real quick. Celina and Tyler, all yours.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Man, I'm jacked up to be here. I know Celina is too.
Who was on here that I saw? I saw Dallas on here. Dallas was on here. Dallas, I haven't seen you in a minute, but you better be out here to come to a live event. You're on here somewhere. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know if we just want to start like 12 months ago, 15, or I mean, maybe.
Maybe the backstory real quick so they know how fucking hard it's been.
Yeah, just going back like a couple of years, guys. Grew up with single mom, homeless at different times, living at grandparents, uncle, aunts' houses, friends' houses, staying with people just to kind of get by, lying to the school district about where we lived. Really, you know, tough financially growing up, and as time went on, I just like always knew that there was like another path out there. I didn't know what it was, and I always knew that I was gonna figure out some other way to be able to make money or like just be free and not have to live under this kind of stress and pressure that I was because of the circumstances that I was given. And I crashed my car. I ended up I just got so pissed off. I literally got so pissed off one day that because I couldn't get another car, and I actually Googled how do people get rich, how do people make money, and I found Brad Lea's podcast.
Has anybody ever done that? Google, I've done that before. I actually like looked in one time to be like, is there any lawsuit that I can get into? Like if I slip on the floor, if I make it wet, can I sue somebody for money?
She's desperate.
That's me. I'm just being vulnerable on this call, and anybody that shows up to my Wednesday night calls too, you know that I will never hold back, and I'm always gonna be true to myself and who I am. So yeah, I was doing that at 19.
It's like,
I'm like, how do I get like extra $1,000?
Yeah, it's like desperation to just like change your situation.
She can't even do it right. She's thinking so small. I'm like an extra 1,000. I'm thinking, how do I get a couple mil?
I know. Yeah, I was.
That's so funny. But yeah, and then I found Brad's podcast, and for 2 years I listened to that, and then I eventually dropped out of college and joined. And one of the cool things that I want to talk to you guys about is like, you know, when I got started, I still have a screenshot. I had no money in my bank account. I pulled out a loan for $1,500. I bought a bunch of leads, and I just dove in. I'd made 5,000 calls up to this point with no sales. And like Trey's on here, he's heard me tell a story 1,000 times, but it's like, there's no reason for me to believe that I should have been where I'm at now. But I did. I just believed that this was gonna work. I was gonna figure it out. And like when all of the things in my life were pointing at like, it's not going to work, it's not gonna make sense, I just still was like, nope, like I'm still gonna do it. And then I ended up at the top of the leaderboard, and then Andy and I started training with Andy, and I ended up out here, right? So that, I think the important like lesson in that story is just like, if your belief and like your faith towards where you want to go is stronger than everybody else's reasons and like them jabbing at you to tell you to change your path, change your course, like you can do anything you want in life.
Yeah, believing blindly. Sean told me that like 3 or 4 months ago, I think. And it's so funny because when I look at my career path, that's exactly what I've done. That's what I've done. My whole life is just believe blindly in the mission, even though that I knew that right then and there, like things weren't happening or I didn't see it right away. I knew the compound effect was gonna end up coming around sooner than later. So Sean always says believe blindly, and I believe in that too. Like you have to, have to have a lot of faith for yourself. Yeah, sorry, I keep cutting you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. That's the story. And now, I'm really fortunate now where, we could go into the last year. It's been quite a ride too. Like I got started selling, and then ended up out here with Andy. Andy and I met and connected, and he's, teaching me sales, right? And then, I don't really even know how to explain this all properly, but like at real financial, right? Like over the last 12 months, there's been a lot of adjustments, a lot of changes, and a lot of people have chosen to leave, and there's been a lot of things that have shifted in the business that we have. And one of the things that, I guess to come back to what Sean said earlier, he said it's been lonely, right? It's because I've talked to Sean, because all I do is work all day long. This is it. Like all day. I'm like, I want to get this out of this opportunity. I'm not going to miss this one opportunity.
The window.
Yeah, it's a take advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime with him, lifetime of the opportunity. And while everyone else is walking away, while everyone else thinks that it's broken, I have been working all day, all night on fixing it. And now it's starting, and it's really like exploding right now into something that's really, really valuable. But when everybody else wanted to leave, when everybody else thought that it was crumbling, it was breaking. Oh, why is nobody putting any attention towards it? What happened to it? I was the only one. I was the only one that was like, I'm just gonna keep going. Like, we're gonna continue to do it. We're gonna continue to push forward. Like, we're still working every single day towards creating what we want here. And everybody else, all the other leadership positions, people who were side by side with me up until that point, they bailed, they left. Only difference between me and all of them is that I just didn't quit.
And I think it's also about wanting it more than anybody else. You have to want it more. So a lot of people are like, give me your tips and tricks for like, what are 3 things that I could learn to help me, sell more of my product? Well, I think it's just, believing in yourself, right? And knowing like where you're headed in your direction, I think is a lot of part of it too.
How often do you train?
Train every day.
Every day. What's your training regimen look like?
Yeah, so at least 30 minutes to an hour every single day I'm practicing. I'm studying constantly. Like, all I do is, I'm either working on, oh boy, get me fired up here. I'm either selling something, I'm training my agents one-on-one, I'm doing group calls, I'm studying, I'm trying to figure out how we can put better systems in, increase retention, figure out how we can get new agents off the ground faster, be better leaders for the people around us, develop better leadership. Like, I'm studying how to do that, I'm implementing those things inside the business, or I'm like practicing and training and just trying to grow and learn and develop. Like, that's it. That's the life.
Celina, you're tied to Andy every day. How much do you still stay on his content?
That's all I do. That's all I do. It's all I do. So like even YouTube, right? Watching his YouTube videos. Because you know it's crazy, as a lot of the coaches that come in here into the Elliott group, before we all worked here, we were just like you guys. Like, we were obsessed with watching every single Instagram, every single post. We liked every single Facebook story, right? Like, we were psycho and watching everything. Look, Jalen's like, that's exactly me. That's exactly what I was doing. And what's crazy is, like we've seen in the past with coaches that aren't here anymore, is they lose sight out of that and they stop watching because they get proximity. So they're like, oh, I'm good because I get to sit next to him all day long. But that's when you lose the chip on your shoulder. Like, you have to continue to keep investing in yourself. You have to continue to keep training on his content because he's moving at light speed paces, and we either have to keep up with him or you're gonna get flooded out and you're gonna get left behind.
And then I want to add to this, the money part, okay? So think about this. When I was coaching most of you in the beginning, you all were making 3 to 5 times more than me. That first year, I had people that I was training making 200, 300 grand while I made $35,000 that year building this company. You guys smoked me. And then for the first time, I was like, I left the industry 6 months before this. I'd have made $1 million 2 years in a row. I'd have made $1 million in 2020. I would have made another $1 million at least in 2021. And I would have carried that run through 2022. But while you guys were making all the dough, I stayed focused in the moment of what my build was. Real financial leaders left a multi-million-dollar opportunity for the quick buck. It's going to be easier here to go get the pay raises that we want and go get that pay plan that we want instead of grind with Andy and Brad. He stayed, and now he's reaping the benefit of all that hard work and not quitting over the dollar. There has to be some purpose in your life. I'm not here to motivate you. I got to motivate my 16-year-old kid to go to school. Motivation's for children. Drive has to be for adults. And then once you find your drive that's backed with purpose, there's nobody in here that was much hard as Celina for the Elliott way. So you guys can't jump ship just because it's getting hard. Right now I have GMs calling me, oh man, my pay plan, you deserve what you get. You deserve what you get. You reap this. You didn't train when you should have been training. When it was easy, you didn't train. Now that it's hard, you're looking for an improvement offer, which is the training. You got to do the work 24/7, 365. So, Celina, what's the one thing that you would recommend for our people watching this if they're in the middle of the trenches and they have some uncertainty?
You need to change your proximity or your zone or the people that you're around. I think that like your inner circle, right? So when I first started my transformation with Andy, I grabbed a pen and a piece of paper and I drew a circle and I put in all the people inside of that inner circle that were going to help me get to my next level, the best version of me. And I told myself, like, I'm going to stay very strict on this circle. And unfortunately, somebody that was in the circle was my father, like somebody that I loved, who nurtured me, who birthed me. And unfortunately, it sucks that even though it's blood family, I have to let him go because he's not here to support me on my mission. Like, he thinks I'm too crazy. He thinks I overwork. You know, he thinks that I need to relax or take a break. And I'm like, no, this is the time right now where I need to go all in. You're retired, which is great. And thank you for what you've done and your contribution because you have served in the military. But like, I'm not here to slow down. So having this inner circle, like, I had to remove him out because he's not somebody that's allowing me to add more pressure. Right? Andy always says, like, or somebody said, like, pressure creates diamonds, right, in this chat. But I know that my father isn't somebody that's going to keep pushing me along. In fact, he's going to be somebody that's going to slow me down. So I really do believe that proximity is everything in who you surround yourself with. So if you're working at a company right now and you got all these people that are negative around you, there's two things, and I want you guys to write this down. You create your own reality and economy. Write that down. You create your own reality and economy. So if you're around a bunch of other people that are negative, that say crappy things to you all day, or people that aren't helping you run to the pressure, number one, get rid of them. And I know it's gonna be really, really, really hard. And it's gonna be a lot of challenges, and there's gonna be diversity, and a lot of people may not be on your side. But you know what? It's not about those people, because at the end of the day, when you leave to go to work, you're trading your time for money. And now it's time to trade it for 3 times the amount of money. And if you think right now that you don't have anybody on your side, or you have to let go of a boyfriend or a girlfriend or husband or wife or best friend or parents, you are crazy, because you have the Elliott Group as a tribe right here. Okay, like, look, there's 98 people that are on this call right now. So don't make any excuses for yourself that you can't come to somebody and lean on somebody. And who can you become when you plug into us at the Elliott Group here? And sometimes it frustrates me, and I get so pissed off when people text me and they're like, I'm having a bad day. I'm like, how can you be having a bad day? You have an entire group of people here at the Elliott Group that want more for you than you want for your own self. That's what bothers me. Isn't it crazy that I want it more for you than you want it for your own self, for you to go take care of your health and your family and your business? Like, really, seriously, think about that. Because I was in your shoes at one point in time too, where I thought that I had it all. I thought I had all the money and life is great. And then I realized, oh my God, there's another level that I can go to. Pick a mentor, find them. And whether that be Andy or not, there's 8 billion? How many people are in this world?
9 billion.
9 billion? There's so many people that are out there, so you gotta find a mentor. And by the way, a mentor is somebody that is going where you want to go. So you have to chase after that person and study them. That's exactly what I did. Did you not do that with Brad?
Same
right?
thing.
Or
yeah.
Brad and Andy, or whoever. Like, you watched, read Napoleon Hill. Like, we're people that are just studying these people 24/7. So as I was going through my journey trying to work for the Elliott Group, I watched everything that Andy did. I looked at everything that the company was doing. You best believe I spent every single penny. I was just telling Tyler this morning that I maxed out my entire credit card in savings of everything to train with Andy, right? That's discipline, is suffering just for a little bit of time. That way you can get the long-term goal. You know, I didn't have much savings, but I had a credit card, and you know what that credit card amount was? $25,000. I'm like, Sean, what can I buy from you? Can I get private coaching? Can I come to a mastermind? When's the last time that you called up your coach and you asked, hey, what can I spend with you today? This is what I'm currently going through right now. I'm having trouble with closing, or I need more customers. When's the last time that you called up somebody and said, what can I spend with you to get more results? Because the greatest way to wealth is self-investment and education. And I was like, run my card, run it. I'll worry about it later. Money is the #1 most replaceable commodity in the world. We're in sales, you guys. We don't have a money problem, we have a skill problem. Once we fix that skill, then the money is gonna come right along with it. I promise you. Right? That's from you. That's from the big dog. That's from Sean. He taught me that. I memorized that so I could regurgitate it and take it and give it to the people who need it. Come on. But I'm just saying, like.
I want to add something to that. Like something that, and I think you should tell your story about like moving up through the car business to get to where you are, because something that's crazy is so many people, they want an opportunity and they want the results of that opportunity that is the next level, but what they don't understand is they have to provide value and actually gain the skills and the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom to be able to execute at that level. Like, why should you be able to get that next opportunity? Like Celina will tell her story about how she moved up in the car business and became a professional in the car business, and then she got brought to the Elliott Group. Like everyone who's out there is like, I just want to work at the Elliott Group. It's like, do something great, like stand out.
Yep.
Like set yourself apart from everybody. When I met Andy, this is what he told me. He said, put up the numbers that nobody's seen before. Do something so outrageous that it is undeniable that you're the best. And I said, I'm fucking in. Like, I'm doing that. And I just went crazy, right? And then I got an opportunity to start helping training the company. I didn't even make any money from doing that. I was training hundreds of reps, hundreds of people I was running sales, I was running trainings for to help them sell. They weren't even on my team inside my agency, but I was developing my skill set to become a leader. I was figuring out how to communicate with people. I gained so much more than money could provide me. I gained the skill sets, the perspective that I needed, the ability to communicate with people. And now I can actually use that. It helps me. It does help me financially now, but it would have never happened if I didn't gain that skill set. And something that Celina mentioned was Napoleon Hill, and I have to mention this quote. It's something that I've kept in like the forefront of my brain as things have gotten hard. He says that people's success in life is directly correlated with their ability to overcome, master obstacles, challenges, and defeat. I mean, just think about that. Like when things are hard, like yeah, it's hard, and like we all feel that. Like Sean was just saying, like I talk to him all the time. I'm like, dude, it's crazy, it's stressful, it's so much pressure. Like Brad Lea and Andy and Jacqueline like are expecting me to pull through and like create this system and build this culture. And then at a certain point in time, we have a Discord. Trey will tell you, it goes off all day long. People dropping sales, people are fired up, people are investing in the company. I was the only one in it for so long. I'm gonna get a policy today. I'm gonna sell, guys, I sold a policy today. Guys, check out this training. Nobody else was posting for months. And I had to solve that problem. But it's crazy because so many people, they want that. They're like Sean mentioned, everybody jump ship. They're like, I'm just gonna go to where the culture's already built, right? It's like, you're not solving any problems. You're not overcoming obstacles. You're not mastering challenges and defeat, right? And once you can do that and that becomes who you are, like I said this to Celina the other day, we were talking about, I forget what we were talking about, but I said, that's awesome. Like there's an opportunity to start solving that problem. Like that's progression. That's what life's about. Like start solving the problem. Don't feel bad for yourself. Like, and she doesn't feel bad for herself, but the point is just that like if you're going through something, like don't feel bad for yourself about it. Solve that issue. Dude, put a smile on your face and attack. Like, that's the game. That's what life is. And once you can sit inside that pocket where you are just trying to solve problems, you are just trying to get better, you're mastering those obstacles, life doesn't become difficult. Life becomes fun. It's progression. You're constantly getting better. And it's not about the external results. It's all internal. Because what you're solving for is you, rather than the car, the money, what other people think. Dude, screw all that stuff. It's impact. Right? That's what drives happiness.
Yeah.
And
the
for
other
some,
stuff is just a byproduct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All of it's a byproduct. Guys, the law of money, gosh, I could go on and on about all this stuff. The law of money, do you guys know what the law of money is? Probably, like, I didn't even know what this was till recently. The law of money, most people think when, like, to become successful, you have to make money. They have it backwards. To become successful, you have to provide a service to people, a high quality service to people with quantity. That means that you're gonna provide a lot of service to people at a high level, okay? What happens then? Then you become successful, once you can master that, because you're serving other people. This world that we live in, it works off of service. Think about if you go out to the store, if someone's running that company that you're going to, someone's going to the place that you know, if you're going to the gas station, right? Someone's running that business. Someone had to come and drop off the gas to that place. This world operates off of service. So service at a high level with a lot of quantity, a lot of service, right? Then you become successful because you can master serving other people. And then by mastering serving other people, you are successful. And once you are successful, then you have the ability to be paid for that. It's the third thing in the process. It's the last step. It's not I get paid and then I'm successful because everyone else views me as successful. It's I'm successful because I can provide a high quality service to a lot of people a lot of times and do it with the intent to impact and serve people. I'm successful, then I can be paid for that. And that is something that changed my life completely. Because now I don't think about it. It's not about me. It's not about my bank account. I was saying this the other day, like I'm never gonna stop, I'm never gonna slow down because I'm addicted to the impact now. I'm addicted to the content that I put out because I know that it's helping people. I'm not like, cool man, I'm making this much money, I can put my feet up. I'm like, how many more people can we touch? People need to know about what we're doing. Like Trey, don't people need to know about what we're doing at Real Financial? It's freaking badass, dude. It's the opportunity of a lifetime, right? Like I want to impact more people. I want to show more people the way. And it's like, if more people in this world could see that and catch that and just like grasp that concept, your income would go through the roof. Like your money problems would be completely solved. Yep. But you have to remove your ego. It's not about you. It's about the people around you. And you'll get paid really well in turn. It's just the way that money works.
And I want to explain to you something about the money. So the insurance industry, so you understand, they say it's the #1 industry that churns most millionaires, turns you into a millionaire. The churn rate of the insurance industry is 98%, so it's hard. 98% of people get out of the insurance agent, but yet it's the industry that creates the most amount of millionaires. So that correlation, those percentages tell you it's hard. Get it? That industry is the #1 for millionaires, and yet 98% of people quit it. Why? Because it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. Could you imagine if we had a couple fat fucking loser motherfuckers and making money was easy? And they had their opinion and the money to voice it? The life doesn't work that way, man. Because if the government gets their way and takes us back to the Stone Age where they take our electricity, they take our internet, and they make us hunt and survive so they can put the new regime in, and I'm not going to go on that right now, but if that were to happen, then that's what happens. Outside of that, you can't control anything in your life. The only thing you can control is your mind. So control your mind and align with the Elliott Group. Reach out to Tyler, you have a new ally. Reach out to Celina, you have a new ally. She is coming for the boys in this company. She's taking them out one at a time to get to #3, and that isn't easily done. So now you have new people to align with and use our mission, and you can make it your own. You could define yourself through some of our identities until you find your identity, because a lot of men that I coach have an identity issue. That's really what it is. And then can I ask a favor? Can I ask a favor? Okay, I'm gonna put this number right here in the chat. That's my son. He's 17 today. Can you guys text him happy birthday? Blow his ass up. Just text him happy birthday, Reese, from whoever you are if you would like, or just tell him happy birthday. He'll freak out. He's like, what the hell is this? But that's his number, 916-221-8233. It's right there in the chat if you guys wouldn't mind texting him happy birthday. But you want to talk about hard, man. Think about some of your lives being broke. It's just as hard as doing the work. It's just as stressful as doing the work, I promise, because I've been broke. And now that, finances are in order and I don't have a money problem, it's harder than ever, because the more that you have, the more that the world's going to put on you. The more you have to understand your money. The more that you have to get clear in your identity. The more I have, the more forces I face are people coming after me for the role that I'm in. So you all have to understand that you have a big part to play. Like, I see one of my GMs, I don't know if he's still on here, his name's Nathan. He runs one of the top stores in Illinois. And he's looking for people to try to take him out, because that would make his environment better. We all rise. Like, everybody knows that I've been telling I'm going to take Andy out for a long time. I've been saying it for 2 years. Tyler's had this thing to take over Real Financial, and Celina wants to become #1 in the Elliott Group when it comes to the coaches. Because not everybody in this group is a coach. There's a select few coaches in the Elliott Group. The rest of our people are in sales until they can graduate to have the coach's role and responsibility. So as your growth rate continues, the only way that works and you're going to grow is by taking on more pressure and more stress. It's the only way you can have true growth. So how many of you right now are in your heads? Ask yourself, how many are in your heads? What lie do you tell yourself? The biggest thing that I told myself was my lie was I didn't deserve it. I shouldn't be here. And then my lie transformed into, okay, well, I kind of got what I want with Andy allowing me to run the company. I'm not ready for this. I'm not qualified for this. So what are some of the things that you do, Tyler and Celina, to handle the truth or maybe the insecurity that you're not good enough? Or do you ever deal with that at all?
Yeah, I mean, personally, like for me, I believe that, we're getting the results that we are right now based off of all the knowledge, the information, and the experiences that we've had. So like if we're all of a sudden like our numbers go crazy and I'm like, oh, like crap, like wait a minute, like what's going on? It's like I'm trying to figure out like what's going on internally to try to keep in alignment with everything that I know I need to do day to day and just not waver from that. Like my daily habits are what saves me, I think, a lot of times, because even though like I might have like an imposter syndrome day, or like I know that this is new for me and I don't really know why I'm getting the results I am, or like I've been given this opportunity, and like you're just naturally not used to these results and this attention and all this stuff going on. So like you might try to naturally pull yourself back down and self-sabotage. So I actually have this card that I read every single day, and I wrote down exactly how much money I want to make and exactly how much my agency is going to do, and I just keep reading that to myself to try to keep myself in alignment with that, because I'm like, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, and I just try to ground myself to that rather than to my emotions and like my emotional swings, because we're not used to the results, we're not used to this life, the stress, the chaos, like, so we have to have something that does ground us. And for me personally, what I do is I just lean on that thing, and I'm like, this is where I'm going, this is where I'm headed, and I'm just constantly telling myself that, and I believe that just because I do that, I'm able to stay in alignment day to day and make the decisions that I need to as that person who's going in that direction. And then, yeah,
I remember Sean doing a call one time, and he said, anytime that Andy or Sean ever said anything, and they're like, if you don't do this, you're stupid. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be stupid, so I'm gonna go do this. I remember Andy had this big whiteboard, and he goes, me and my wife, we have one in the Lions Den, we have in our bedroom, we've got all these goals written on it, and he's like, if you don't have one of these, you're stupid. And I'm like, well, I'm not stupid. So I went and bought like $500 worth of these big whiteboards, and I put them all over my house. Well, I guess I'm here now, so I guess it worked. But Sean said one time on a Zoom call, if you don't have this card inside of your wallet, or a card that you keep around you, like a little note card or the size of a credit card, write down all of your distractions and keep it with you. If you don't have one of those, I don't know, you don't align with me, you're not on the mission of where I'm going. So in my wallet, because I'm constantly I'll grab out my driver's license, or I grab my credit card out to pay for groceries or gas, I have a card inside of there that I wrote down like a year and a half ago when I first started training, and I wrote down all of my distractions on that. And I constantly remind myself. Also, I have a lot, when I first started training with Andy, I have a lot of notebooks that I used for when I started training with him. And I would write down, kind of like Tyler, all these things that I want to accomplish, where I want to go in life. And I made a commitment to myself that I'm always going to keep that chip on my shoulder, and I'm never going to be too good, or I'm not going to ever get comfortable. So actually this morning, it's so funny, I opened up one of my books that I have. It's my planner from last year's calendar date. And I opened it up this morning before I left my house, and I just started reading all of it, because that notebook keeps me grounded of where I was at in my life before and where I want to go. And you know what was so crazy is my goal is I have to continuously date Jacqueline and Andy, right? Like I have to keep a healthy dating with them. Like I constantly have to be around them. I have to be very close with them, because I know that they're going where I want to go. So this morning, like something that helps me like keep going and really stay focused is I opened up that notebook, and I started crying, and I'm like, you know what? Like why am I gonna hide my feelings of the way that I feel right now? So I took my phone out, I hit record, and I took a 2-minute long video to Jacqueline and Andy, and I sent it to them this morning. And I said, hey, wherever you guys are at right now in the world, because they're not here at the den today, but I said, whether you're coming to the den today, whether you're traveling, whether you're at an event, I just want to share 2 minutes of my life with you real quick. And I sent them a video of myself, and I'm like, this notebook is the notebook that I still have from when I first started training with you. It has the dates, it has the amount of money that I invested, it has all these things, and I'm like, look at this book, like look at how crazy I was going. And I said, now I'm crying on this video, but I'm like, the whole point of this and why I'm sending it to you is because I just want to tell you that I'm really grateful for this opportunity. All that people want in this world is an opportunity. And of course, it's an opportunity to be great. And I know that we are the ones. I know that you guys are the ones right now, because you wouldn't be here on this call if you weren't the one. And I know that I am the one. So I took that video and I sent it to them this morning, and Jacqueline sent me back a 3-minute long voice message. I haven't listened to it yet because we've been on this call. But it grounds myself, and it reminds me of like where I came from and to be grateful and to never get too big, like, oh, I've made the money, or oh, I have the car, or oh, I have this and that, like I don't need to work harder. In fact, those times are actually really, really scary because I fear so much of going backwards, of not keeping the chip on my shoulder. So when I am making all the money or when I am doing all these things, it's an opportunity for me to say, you know what, I'm gonna go in 2 times harder. Like, because most people end up, right, because I come from the automotive space. So what do? You sell 2 cars, you sell 2.5 cars. So then you think, oh, it's 5 o'clock. I'm gonna go ahead and clock out and I'm gonna go enjoy the weekend and I'm gonna enjoy my off day. Like, that's the time right now for you. Or if you're somebody that's like an insurance, right, well, you sell like a policy a day or 2 policies a day, three policies
one
a
or
day.
2 right now.
Okay, 1 or 2 a day. Like, normally people are like, oh, I sold my 1 a day. This is great, life's good. I'm gonna stop dialing. No, that is the time and that is the signal for you to be like, no, you should make a couple more dials, or you should go up a couple more customers. You should go take a few more clients, because maybe you're pushing at the very end of the month and you don't make the deal that day, but you impacted that person, you motivated and inspired them so strongly to where in 2 weeks when they are ready to buy, they do remember you and they are gonna come back. Like, that's the power of having the chip on your shoulder. And I'd like to say, I think we can both agree that we got to this point because, you know, we stay grounded and we focus on things of, I'm so fearful to go backwards. I'm so scared of that. I'm so scared of like my old life and the way that I used to think, because in the car business, one thing I don't like about sales is how well it pays. It almost pays so good that you take it for granted. And I was in that point, in that position in my life where like I was making 10, 15 grand a month. And I'm like, this is good. Oh my gosh, I only need to sell 10 cars and I'm making 10 grand a month. Like, I don't need to work harder. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna clock out, I'm gonna work my little 9 to 5. And I realized that I wasn't as good as what I thought it was until I met Andy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how many car deals, how many transactions, how much money have I missed out on because I didn't have this training, because I wasn't plugged into Andy? Like, how much more money could I have been making because I'm in this training? And I told myself, you know, when I was 18 years old, I built out a business plan. And in college, of me creating a sales training company. And I was like gonna travel to all these cities in these states, and I was gonna have all these people pay me and do all this crazy stuff. And I threw it away because I didn't believe in myself. And it's like, Andy is paving the way for sales professionals in this world. There's nobody else that is doing what it is that he's doing. He has the passion, and you know what? He's a people collector. He likes to collect people, but most importantly, he plays with his heart. Like, when I'm doing business with somebody, it's not just me collecting a credit card. And I'm never gonna put somebody in a training regimen or training structure that's not gonna help them become to their best version. Like, if you call me up right now and you're 18 years old and you just found Andy 2 days ago on YouTube, I am never gonna be somebody that's gonna tell you you need to come to a live event here in Scottsdale, Arizona. That's not gonna work for me. That's not how I do business, because you don't understand and you haven't earned it yet to be able to come to one of our events. That's just the way that I operate. Maybe you're somebody that's different and you gotta come out here, okay, great. But a lot of people just immerse themselves into the training. They come right here to an event and they don't understand, they don't go through the training. So everybody that's on this call right now, like, all of you guys pay to be on this call, right? That's where I started. I started with the coaching calls, right? I took baby steps. So at my dealership, and just to let you guys all know, when I say the greatest way to wealth is investing in yourself and education, it truly is. So my dealership, my company, I'm curious to know if anybody from my dealership is on this call right now. Either way, it doesn't matter. So if you're listening up from Cal Cars in Spokane, Washington, pay close attention to me now. So my company, the owner, wrote a check every single year for our company to be on Andy's training platform, the Lightspeed training platform. And he would pay for that. And I told myself, I said, you know, I've got places where I want to go. And I would sit there and I would log into this training and I would train, and I realized, I said, you know what, I gotta go meet this guy. Like, there's no way that this dude that's out there is all on these YouTube videos, he's number one. Like, I've been selling cars for 9 years. I've worked with every sales trainer you could possibly think of. I've seen and done them all. I've done them all. And I'm like, there's no way that this guy is real. There's no way. Like, I didn't believe it. So I'm like, you know what? I was training on the platform for about 4 months and see the baby steps. And I decided I'm gonna go out there to a live event and test myself. Like, I wanna get better because I know that I have like this buzzing, winning energy that's inside of me that I want more. So I decided to come out here to a live event. This is January of last year. And I'm sitting in here, for those of you guys that have been to elementary school, that's where I went for the first time to elementary school. And I'm like, man, this guy is really good. Like, I want to be good. Because you know what I hate? I hate it when I couldn't close somebody. Like, it kind of bothered me inside that people are like, no, I'm just gonna go think about it, or I'm gonna go to a different location, or I'm gonna go buy this car instead, or I gotta go talk to my husband. And I'd be like, okay, well, bye. See ya. Like, I hated losing that sale. Because at the end of the day, if you can't close, you lose, the company loses, like your dealership or the company that you work for, and the client loses. And you know what bothers me more than anything is that client loses because they're just gonna go down the road to ABC Motors and they're gonna get some terrible garbage salesperson that's just gonna shove them into a used car that hasn't gone through recon, and they're just gonna put them out. And I'm not okay with that, because you know what's gonna end up happening? The car's gonna break down in 2 weeks because it's not a reputable company, because the salesperson doesn't truly care about them and say, hey, you know what? Let's take this out for a test drive, but you're not gonna take delivery today because it hasn't had an oil change done. It hasn't had a 128-point inspection checklist done on it yet. Because I know I represent my own brand and my own product, and I'm never gonna put somebody in hands it's not safe. But that comes down to closing. And if I can't close them, somebody else is gonna take their money. You know what's crazy is, like, when you look around or you go outside, all these cars that are sitting outside, somebody made a commission on it. Somebody made money on that car. And that better be me, not anybody else. So I told myself when I came out here in January, I said, you know what? I wanna become the best version of myself. And I had realized that if my owner, my boss, had paid for this training, I wasn't gonna pay attention. I knew it. Because I would just log in whenever was convenient for me. I logged in when I had a bad day. When I sold 3 cars, I'm like, I don't need to log in for training. It doesn't matter. I'll just log in whenever I can't get a word tracked down, or whenever I'm having a tough day or my mind is bad. Like, we should be training even when your mind is bad and even when it's good, because that's the separator of being a 1%er. So I decided I'm gonna go ahead and get on Andy Elliott's Committed 365 All Access program, and I'm gonna pay $599 a month. And I remember asking Ryan was my coach, I said, Ryan, what's the difference between what my dealership is paying for and what I am paying for? And he said, it's the same exact thing, except you get unlimited seminars and you get on Sean Pollard's Sunday calls. And I said, you know what? For me to pay $599 a month just to be on Sean Pollard's Sunday call at 6 p.m., it's worth it alone. If that's the difference that I'm gonna gain, because I was there every single Wednesday. But if I didn't pay, or every single Sunday back then, if I didn't pay, then I wasn't gonna show up. It didn't mean anything. But when my bank account showed up and my bank statement and I saw the money withdrawn, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm gonna log in and actually pay attention. I'm gonna study the word tracks. I'm gonna come to Sean's calls. Because I knew the person where I was becoming, and I knew how important that it was for me to stay plugged into this group. And I paid $599 every single time. Then Ryan called me up and he's like, hey, we got this private mastermind. Hey, we got an event coming up. Do you want to come? I'm like, yep, use the card on file. Ryan called me when I got COVID. And I'm like, hey, Ryan, what's going on? I'm like in bed, like halfway dying. He's like, Celina, you better be on YouTube watching Andy's videos while you're sick and in bed. And I'm like, damn straight I am. I'm like, you think just because I'm sick that I'm not on YouTube watching Andy all day? Of course I am. Guess what this guy does, because he's a closer? He hits the FaceTime button and he's trying to FaceTime me while I'm halfway sick, trying to sell me on a private mastermind. Come on, I pick up the FaceTime call and I'm like, oh my God, my coach is calling me. I gotta do my hair. I gotta make sure like I look presentable. He calls me up and he's like, are you ready to do it? And I was like, run the card on file. Charge it for $3,000. See Andy in June for the private mastermind. You know what's crazy though is when we call you guys and we ask you like, where do you want to go to, or what's the next best version of you, and you give some excuse of like, can't come to that date. Can't come to that because I got a doctor's appointment this day, or my best friend's sister's cousin's got a wedding going on, or I have this or I have that going on. Like, how many more times are you going to keep making excuses for yourself before you decide to go all in? And I decided like, I'm not going to make excuses for me, so I'm going to just go ahead and pay my own way. And I paid Sean $5,000 for private coaching calls. Like that, I think that's why, like, I love Andy and he changed my life, but I really have a close relationship with Sean Pollard because he was my mentor, because we stayed plugged in. And with the training that you guys all have access to, that you guys pay for because you guys all pay to be here, it took me from top salesperson, first female finance manager at my dealership, first female sales manager, And I ran the third store location, and we hit record-breaking units. You know what's crazy is I had sales managers that would condition me and give me limiting beliefs that would tell me like, hey, Celina, by the way, just heads up, this store can only sell 30 cars a month. Like, that's it. We're capped off at that. We have the most amount of inventory in all of Spokane and Coeur d'Alene in Idaho, but you know what? This is all that we're gonna sell. And I'm like, who are you to tell me what I can and can't accomplish? How dare you? Like, who are you to tell me what my path is? And in fact, I'm glad that he said that because it pissed me off and it fueled me to go get more. And I said, not today. Not today, sister. I'm going in for it more. And that was the month that we hit 52 units. And our store had never seen 52 units. Like, we always floated around like 30, 35, maybe at most. And I said, I'm gonna do everything possible. I'm gonna find every single deal. I'm gonna find every single client. I'm gonna be the hunter. There's two different types of salespeople. I take after this on Sean. Number one is gonna be the closer. Like, you can close right on the spot, cold call, first call close, you're closing it. Or number two is gonna be a hunter. That's the second style of an elite sales professional. Sean is a hunter. Sean will always find different deals here in the Elliott Group. He's always looking for deals. I'm the same exact way. I like to hunt to find people. I don't like deals that are given to me. I like to earn deals. On the back of my business card when I was selling cars, it says, I prefer to earn your business because it makes me appreciate it more. I had that written on the back of my business card because I didn't want somebody to just come in, and just expect it. Like, I wanted people to know I'm gonna work hard for you and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna put you in the right vehicle and also serve you at the highest level. And we're gonna make sure that you and your family are gonna get world-class customer service. And we're gonna put you into a new safe vehicle. Because you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, nobody's gonna take care of you the way that I'm gonna take care of you today. And you know what? I want to be so good to you that I'm going to take care of your future family and all your friends and serve the community also at the highest level too. When's the last time that you used that language? I'm going to give you world-class customer service. World-class customer service. You don't hear that anymore. And our goal is to teach you guys how to say common things in uncommon ways. You want to be common or uncommon? Do you want to be average? Do you want to have an average paycheck? Do you want to have an average life? Or do you want an exotic car? Do you want an exotic home? And it was that point and moment in time where I told Sean, like, I'm all in. Charge up the card, rack it all up the way to $25,000, and that's exactly what I did. And I had to make minimum payments of $200 just to freaking not go past due on the credit card. But you know what? It was the best thing that happened to me. It was the best thing, the money going in and out. And I took a pay cut. I took a pay cut running the store. When I was selling cars, I was making 10, 15 grand a month, and I knew that I had to rebuild this entire team. Because that team that I was running wasn't the team that was gonna help us become number one. And I had to do uncomfortable things. You know what's crazy? Is most management, sorry, I'm going off a little bit on this. Most management teams, you know what's crazy is when they get into a leadership position, they think, no, I'm gonna punch somebody. They think that once they get into a management spot, they don't have to do all the other jobs that are underneath them. But what I believe what a true leader is they should be able to run all different departments of their company. And I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean by that. In order to run a company, in order to run a store, and I was a sales manager at a dealership, I had to be able to know how to run finance, how to run deals, how to submit paperwork in, how to communicate with banks. But not only just on the sales side, but what about the service side, Celina? Do you know how to run a service department? See, because I'm trying to be multidimensional here. I'm not just trying to run one thing. I'm not just trying to do one thing. So you know what I did? Going all in on myself, and this is something that I learned in investing with Sean and Andy. My off days, what do most people do? They go to the beach on the off days, they go chill, they go drink, they go hang out on TikTok. My off days, I spent in the dealership, in my service department and parts department on my off days. And I didn't want to get paid for it. I didn't ask for anything, but I showed up at 8 a.m. when our service department opened up, and my service manager is like, aren't you off today? You're normally not here. And I said, you know what? In order for me to become the best version of myself, in order for us to grow this store, I have to understand all departments. I have to know it all. I have to take on more pressure. So I said, if you don't mind, I'd like to shadow you all day long. I brought a pen and a piece of paper, and I want to learn where are the quarts of oil? How do you measure the oil? Where are all the fluids? What are your safety protocol? What are your safety regulations? Where do we go if we need new tires, wheels? Like, tell me everything. Give me the baby. I want to know everything because I want to cure this store and I want to take care of it like it's my own child. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And I literally spent all my off days with him with a pen and a piece of paper. I'm sure I can find the notebook someplace. And I'm like, okay, how do you count the oil? Where does this go? How do you pay out the technicians? What's the software system that you need to count for the hours and the time? Where do the parts come from? If there's a 911, do I need to go to O'Reilly's to go pick up the parts? Like, how does all this work? And I knew because I wanted to educate myself. I was so psycho on winning that I wanted to show my owner that I am the best pick for him, that I am undeniably the best at what it is that I do. Because when the time does come, when somebody is hunting after me for my job, there's gonna be no way for him to pick somebody else out but me. I'm gonna give him no reason or excuse for him to choose somebody else to run that company but me. I didn't want him to, because you know what? Nobody is gonna outwork me and what I know. Nobody else is gonna come in there and spend 2 days in the service department and try and figure this out. And some of you guys, like, maybe sitting here, like, some of you guys are all in right now, some of you guys are listening, and some of you guys are just kind of playing casually with this call right now. Or maybe you're being on here because your dealership told you that you had to show up to the Monday through Friday calls. And if that's you, then you can exit this call. We don't want you here, because we only want to do business with people that are willing to put in the work, that are going all in on themselves. Right? So I really encourage you, like, if you're already paying for this and you're investing in yourself, what else are you going to invest in? What?
No, not the drum fire.
Yeah, like, what? Sorry, I know Sean's supposed to be asking questions over here.
I'm gonna retire my Wednesday clothes.
But like, I'm just saying, like, there's other mentorship that I have to invest in. Just because we're here, like, Tyler has made it, I've made it, Sean's made it, doesn't mean that we stop with our investing, right? And what I mean by that is, I have a coaching program that I pay for on our fitness side. We have a what is it called? The fitness division, right? Our Earn It All division, our fitness division. I pay Adam every single month to privately train with him to make sure that my body is in shape, so I have more energy and I have more passion, so I can deliver better results to you guys, because it's about you, it's not about us. And in order for me to serve you guys at the highest level, I have to serve myself at the highest level. So there's other third-party training companies that I invest in to see, like, where can I get better at? There's other coaching programs that I'm involved in, other connections and networks and relationships, right? Do you do that? Or other programs that you dive into?
Yeah, oh yeah, coaches. I mean, guys, just like to time out really fast. Like, I can't believe.
Yeah, time me out, because I'm gonna come across this. I'm gonna put all you guys in a headlock and choke you out with some success.
Like, I can't.
Just shave your head bald if you're not bald yet.
I can't believe some of you guys are on this for $97.
It's $99. It's crazy.
$98.
Do you know what a steal of money that is? Monday through Friday for $99, and you get me on Wednesday night. So that's technically 6 calls throughout the week.
Doubling
for
up on Celina.
$99. Like, what does Ryan always say? You could wipe your ass with that.
Yeah.
$99 for you guys to be here and taking this information.
But think about everything that, like, the common theme in all of these messages, and like that story that Celina just told, like what I told you guys about my story, like, it's internal. It's not about the external stuff. And sometimes we chase this external results and all this, it looks cool and I want the car and the whatever. It's like, that's not what it's about. It's the constant growth, it's the progression. It's taking care of other people, right?
Yeah.
Celina's she wants the skill set, she doesn't want the layups. No, I'm not gonna be a leader and just pray to God that we just do better next month.
Yeah.
No, she went in on her days off. She did extra. She literally would go in and study the other departments inside the business just so she could have the skill set and become the leader that was able to run a store, to be able to break the record of what it's never done before. Like, that's the game. Mm-hmm. It's the extra effort. It's the internals, the self-education. And once you have that, I mean, we were talking about it recently, like, nobody can take that from you.
Nope.
Nobody can take the education.
Nope.
So if you're out there right now and maybe you have like a good market, it's just a good market, you're just in a right place, right time, you got a big deal, a big fish, right? You just feel really good and high on top of the world. You haven't figured anything out yet. It's luck, right? And to be able to get that repeatedly, what do you have to do? You have to invest in yourself. You have to constantly be growing, developing the skill set, because it isn't about just getting the quick hits. It's not about the layups. I'm not out there trying to figure out how to make it easier. No, I'm trying to figure out how to do this repeatedly, so day after day, no matter what, I know that my skill set is so sound and so firm that I have the ability to close deals that are going to result in X amount of dollars. That I have the ability to serve people at such a high level, impact enough people that my income grows month after month. What can I do to develop that? That's the game. And if you just listen to like, you guys should all just like take the day off and just rewatch this 18 times and take notes on it and study it, because this is like, if you were just to like bottle up all of the experiences that we've had and like all of the growth and progression and everything that we've taken away from our journey, and we're super self-reflective and like addicted and into personal development and self-growth so much that like if you just went back and watched this a bunch of times and you just implemented the concepts and the ideas that we're talking about, your life would change forever. And you would make way more money than you even knew what to do with. And it's just crazy to me because I mean it's $99. That's wild.
I know. It's crazy. Sean, will you have another question? I feel like you have another question. Do you have another question?
What keeps you going? You've had success. I know it does for me. What stops you from leveling out and being cool with what you have in your life and not wanting to? What keeps you at the pace you're trying to achieve? What keeps you driven? I know what mine is. And going at this external pace to where it's never enough. You barrel through the lonely nights. You train all night. You live on 5 hours if you have to of sleep, or 4 hours if you have to of sleep. What do you think that is for you internally that keeps you going and not backsliding to sleeping 8 hours, not going to the gym, not eating right?
You go first.
Man.
I know. It's such a great question.
Yeah.
There's so many answers to it.
For me, it started out as like I wanted to just change my life, right? And then like as I started to actually change my life, I could have lived a comfortable living. So like I could have just been fine selling insurance forever, and like I would have made more money than I had ever made before, and I would have been super comfortable. But it's crazy now because I don't even think about the money. I don't even I'm not like it's literally a byproduct, like Celina said earlier, of what I'm trying to achieve. Like for me, I want to impact people. Like Trey, like I keep bringing him up, but he's on our calls. I was texting with him last night, this morning. Like he's one of the guys in my agency, you know? Like seeing him when I speak to him and explain the opportunity, what's in front of him, like what you have the opportunity to plug into and get out of this, and his eyes light up and he's like, I'm like, that's what I want.
Trey looks like a good dude. Look, he's got nice teeth too. He saw Crentis this morning, Crentis the dentist. He looked like a good guy.
Come out. But that's what I'm after now, and it's like when you take I've taken the attention off of me and I've made it about other people. And when you think about that, what's crazy is, again, when you make it about other people, that's when you're able to start earning more.
Yep.
So like rather than me just being like, how do I make money and build an agency so I can do well? I'm like, no, how do we get more people to level 4 of the game? Like they need to win. I want them to win so badly that I'm willing to just invest all my time, spending time on the phone with them, training them, like doing one-on-one phone calls. Like I have hundreds of agents on my team. I block off like 4 hours every single day and I have like basically the same conversation, but I give them that attention, that time with them over and over and over and over and over every single day. I'm on the training calls. I'm building up other leaders now. Like I want them to experience what I've experienced, see what I can see. And like, again, like some of you guys that don't have teams, you're not in the same position. So to like make this make sense and like actually usable for yourself, like become the best version of you by serving other people that you're around. Whether it's your clients, the people that you work with, be a good influence on the people around you. Do you guys know the coffee bean story? The coffee bean, you ever heard of that? Guys, there's this story of there's three variations, right? The first one is they put a boiling egg, or an egg in boiling water. What happens? It gets hard, external shell, it blocks everything out, right? The water is it's like the external environment, okay? They take a carrot, they put it in, it gets super soft and mushy, and then they take a coffee bean and they put it in the boiling water, and what happens? The water starts to become coffee. The coffee bean changed the environment. So in stressful times, chaotic times, when life is crazy and it's hectic and there's stuff going on and things are like just like you're stressed out and you don't know what to do, don't be like the egg, don't get a hard external shell and block everybody out. Don't be like the carrot and become soft and just wallow and do what everybody tells you to do. Be strong and sturdy and control that environment. Be the person that everybody can lean and depend on around you. It's not all about your prospects and your clients. Think about everybody around you that you work with. Can you impact them? Can you make them have a better day? Can you bring people along the journey with you? Be the coffee bean. Impact the people around you to the point where you're able to influence your environment and your environment doesn't influence you. right?
Boom.
I don't even know what you asked us in the original question.
I know. This is a coffee bean. I'm
you
a
wanna-
coffee bean today, you guys. 2 years ago, I was a carrot.
What about you, Celina? What keeps
Yeah,
you
what
going?
keeps you going?
What keeps you persevering? You pushing so hard. Like why? Like Celina's at a point now where money is she's scaling in the company. Do you have a drive to keep going, or like why don't you just take it easy? You're making a lot of money. Why keep doing this? Fuck. Why not just stay where you're at and give yourself a little bit more time? Relax.
You're so funny. You sound like my dad. Relax, my grandma. You guys, you need a vacation.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
like, oh, I don't need a vacation.
Why not?
You know, I've talked about this before in the past. If you've been on my Wednesday night calls, the whole reason why I do everything and what it is that I do is because of you guys. So in my past, and I've shared this on my story, but like growing up, I had a really traumatic childhood. I've been bullied by my parents, by family, you know, other people around, and you know, I've always just been so concerned of like, man, I have so much love to give people. Like all I want to do is pour into people and love and give and help other people. Like I've always had that inside of my heart to change people, to be more kind. Like my mom's always raised me to be a kind individual, you know, don't bully other people. And I've waited so long in my life for other people to just love me back and support me back. And it hasn't been until this past year where I started getting on these calls and I started pouring into people, and finally you guys are the tribe of men and women that have finally decided to pour back into me and support me.
Feels good.
It does feel totally good, and I'm like, oh my God, you guys are my people. Like there's no other place that I would rather be than sitting here right now, like on this call with you guys. Same for my Wednesday night calls. There's no other place that I would rather be. And I did these calls for free for almost a year until they put me on the platform, because I didn't care about the money. It wasn't about that. Like I just wanted to connect with other people that wanted to grow with me. So that's my top priority, is you guys and you guys growing, because I'm like, if I can do it and I didn't have anything, like you guys can do it. And my second thing is, so being hired here at the Elliott Group, and this is more of a current thing right now, being hired here at the Elliott Group, we don't really hire female coaches. And I guess the Elliott Group has had an issue in the past with a female coach before. But I really do believe that Sean was the only person that believed in me here in this company, that said like, hey, you will make it. And I remember coming into Andy's office one day, this is like 2-3 months after I'm already working for the company. Jacqueline and Andy were sitting here in these chairs, and Andy is like, when's gonna be the day that you're gonna go all in? Like, don't have the same numbers. You have the same consistency is great, but how come you're not growing? And I looked at Jacqueline, and Jacqueline goes, you know, when you were hired here, like we believed in you, yeah, kind of, but the only person that did believe in you was Sean. So she goes, if there's anybody that you're gonna do it for, you should do it for Sean, to prove to him that he made a right decision in hiring you. Like, don't let him down on that. So every single day, I'm chasing that feeling of not letting go, and proving to them every single day, like I'm the right person that you guys hired. I'm gonna be the person that's gonna move the needle in the company, and we're gonna do this all together on a unified front line.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. You guys, it's about that time to get to work. You have the plan. You heard from 2 men and women up and coming in the Elliott Group. Tyler with Real Financial, that struggle. We go through the grind of life together. The one thing I can tell you about these two beautiful souls is that they stay plugged in. We still watch Andy's calls on Mondays. We still watch those calls. We have coaches here that don't watch his Monday calls anymore because they're in proximity to him. We still watch his Monday calls. I do. I watch Andy's Monday call Monday night in my bed taking notes. That's how I've scaled. So stay plugged in, DM me, and then I'm gonna ask one last favor. Text my son, please. He is, let me get his number.
I'm gonna
His
type
number.
it in.
You guys are amazing if you do this, by the way. I love you all. I love you either way. Doesn't matter. 916.
But he's gonna love you more.
221-8233. That's his cell phone to wish him happy birthday. Now we got a battle plan. You know it's fucking relentless. It gets dark. It gets lonely. You're going to have insecurities. And I'm going to ask you again, reach out to Tyler. I trust Tyler very much with his personality and his advice and what he'll give you. So you got Tyler Glennon, you got Celina, you got me. There's no reason for you to go through the pain alone. There's no reason for you to go through the suffering alone. There's a reason why I'm here 16 hours a day, because I'm with my tribe. I'm not alone, and I'm grinding, and I still get in my head. So I can only imagine what you're going through if you're on your own, in state, in your home or at your work. but you're not alone when it comes to your spirit. We have your back, but you got to reach out. You got to plug into this and get crazy with us. I love you all. Rewire your minds. Let's go get paid what we're worth. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.